as Wilco makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland, the podcast where I can't spell forest. And now I can hear myself, so I'll have to get rid of that. Go away. Right, so with me this afternoon, this morning, tonight, I don't know where in the universe you are, and that's not my problem, is Dave. Dave or David? I'm never sure which one to call you. Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Nah.
Oh, it's duh. And you may have seen him in the chat as Mr. Waffles. Usually gives me grief because I give away his secret location of Portland. How is it in Portland today?
It's sunny and beautiful.
You don't even know what the weather's like in Portland. Don't you fall for my scheming tricks. How's your day been?
Good. Worked. And waffled about.
Waffled about. Look at you using your username. I was saying to someone, I think I was talking to Chris, from Florida, and he said, "How did I know you?" And then I said, I've known you from about 13, 14 years, way back in the day when we were both on online Arsenal. Do you ever go there?
Yeah, I'm still there. They made me an administrator for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it's a good crowd.
Where were you when I needed you? Because I got banned from there. And then
I don't know where I was. I would have come to your defense.
I think Maverick Kaiser came and saved me. But then I said, no, I'm leaving. And I left him out in a strop and I never went back. So you're a man with power then now, are you?
No. They're just, I'm the nerd now. They just want me to fix things for them.
Because I had that wonderful post, GFP hot or not.
Still legendary. People still talk about it.
That's because they had a woman on. Is Sosh still on there?
I don't think so. She was one of the originals.
Yeah, Swedish. And someone put some pictures up with her and asked if she was hot or not. And it was quite mean. So I put a picture of myself up half naked, laying on my bed, and put the thread up, GFP hot or not. And then when you redid the website, that was one of the things that you brought over and put it on the new website. I had a little look years ago. I don't know if it's still there, but fun times back before podcasting. Back before we knew what we were doing on the internet. Back then, it was things were a lot simpler. I don't even think back then when that started, I don't think there was such thing as Twitter. I think someone got it, and then I went and I said, I think I'm going to get that. I ain't going to do anything.
Can we go back to there being no such thing as Twitter?
Oh, imagine that, no social media. Oh, dear, well, it's such a happier place.
Just
Twitter. Well,
it's just toilet bowl, man.
Could be
a place to be. I don't know why people go on there.
Let's see who is in the chat, and here he is. It's Mike Hertz. How are you getting on in the Champions League, Mr. Hertz? Did you get beaten by Inter Milan? There again, I think I'd rather be an AC Milan fan because that Champions League final, that is going to be a crime against humanity. What Man City are going to do to Inter Milan, because Inter Milan are rubbish.
Yeah, we're not good.
It's not good. They are not a good team. Also, Miss Phil Macker. Yes, in Echo. There wasn't any Echo the first time I did it, but the second time I had it open in another window to say make it easier for me, and there was an Echo. And Mr. Waffy saying hello to you. Mike says hello. Crimson Pirate. What does that say? Got him. Hello. He's on Twitch. That reminds me, I should go and open the Twitch for the podcast because I've had 5 hours sleep and I was up at 11 a.m. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. It's ridiculous.
That's inhumane, Danny.
It's not right. No. I went to a funeral of one of Sean's mum's friends, and she was only 50. That's not right, is it?
No.
Mike said, "Hey,
I turned 50 this year. Don't say that.
I'll be 53. Good God, what a time to be alive." He says you got a Nirvana shirt. Is that right? Well spotted in giant big letters across his T-shirt. No one's pointed out on Twitter that I spelt Forest with 2 R's. Thankfully, I got away with it. Phil says, just about recovered from my 93-mile moped ride yesterday as I returned to the office for the first time in 3 years. Sexy Frank bought a Lambretta, a 1961 Lambretta the other day. $3,500 he paid for it. It's a 70 mile an hour on something that is basically a ironing board with 2 wheels. That is worryingly scary. He's the man. The man is off his trolley, but it keeps him happy. So he's got a 1962 Beetle as well, a purple one. The man's having a midlife crisis, and good luck to him. Graham Denton is there. Link. Link for what? That's the question. Stan the man is there in sunny. Well, it's sunny Vancouver. It's official. Yes, he is. I like to twatter off a bit on Twitter. Good. Mike says, I'm almost glad Milan isn't going to get to the... Yeah, that's exactly why I'm worried about it. Stan is giving you a little wave there, Mr. Waffles. Days blend into what they certainly do for me. Days a week mean absolutely nothing to me. Phil says, I rarely ever go for 55. That's enough for 2 wheels for me. Quite right. Right, let's do the usual flim flam where I go and give you a load of nonsense that no one really cares about. Right, the game. Where can you see the game? I hear everybody shouting all at once. Well, in the UK, you can watch it on Sky Go Extra and Sky Go and Sky Sports Main Event, Sky Sports Premier League, and it's on Radio 5 Live. I think it's is it a 4:30 kickoff? 5:30.
Bangladesh. Where can you watch Bangladesh?
Bangladesh, there we go. I've got a friend from Bangladesh, Izzy. Star Sports Select HD2. I'm glad you're playing along with it. For the first time in 5 years, you're the only person to ask without being asked. It makes my life a lot easier. There you go. So if you're in Bangladesh, give us a wave. Right, Premier League injury table for us. Martinelli out for the season. Zinchenko out for the season. Saliba out for the season. Tomiyasu and El Neni out for the season.
El Neni's the big miss there.
He is. I mean, he's got hair like you.
Yeah.
It reminds me.
You can see all my hair, but
that's nice. Over the years, how many times have we played Nottingham Forest? I can't tell you because, actually, that's easy numbers. 102 times we've played them over the years. We won 52, drew 22, and we've lost 28. Now, considering that back in the 70s and the early 80s, Forest were a hell of a team. But we've made up for it in recent years by them being absolute pony. So, as usual, I'm going to go back and have a look at the last 3 times that we played them at home in the Premier League. Wow, that is a long time ago. 3 games back, 10th of February 1996, when I was 25 years old. And we beat them 1-0. A certain Mr. Bergkamp scored in the 59th minute. That's not bad. They had Brian Roy. Kevin Campbell was playing for Forest. Super Kevin Campbell. Give us a wave. Then the 2 games back, again, years ago, 21st of December 1996. What was the score? We went there and they beat us 2-1. Alfie Inge Haaland. Have you ever heard of him? You might have a uncle. He might have had a son called Erling Haaland. He scored 2 goals that night and beat us 2-1. Ian Wright scored the other goal for us. When you look at our Arsenal team that night, we had Ian Wright, Bergkamp, Platt, Merson, all up front, and then later on we brought on Parler and Hartson, and we still went there and lost. Sad times. And he's a defender. Why would a defender? I thought he was a midfielder. Anyway, never mind about that. And the last time we played them away in the Premier League was the 16th of January 1999. We went there, beat them 1-0. Martin Keown scored the goal. And our attacking team that night was Bergkamp up front, Anelka playing around him with Parler on the right and Mark Overmars on the left. Glory days. He had such wonders playing for Nottingham Forest, Pierre Van Hooijdonk, Scott Gemmell, Chris Bart-Williams. Great days. And Neil Shipperley. Well, there you go. And the gist of that is we haven't played Nottingham Forest in the Premier League for 24 years, apart from when we played them this season at home and smashed them 5-0. A couple more stats for you, and what we're going to do. Our most valuable player, Saka, 110 million. Their most valuable player, Brennan Johnson, they rate him at 30 million. Not too bad. And some players that we've shared over the years. Josie Utu Totu went there on loan. Corporal Jenkinson, Indeed. Chupa Apcom, top goal scorer, player of the season from Middlesbrough this season in the Championship. Josh Reese, Henry Lansbury. That boy had skills. I don't know where he is at the moment. Did he go to Luton? He's at bloody Luton. He might get into the Premier League with Luton. No, awesome. They'll get rid of him. He's 32 years old. I remember when he was a prospect. Who else have we got? Don't know. Aaron Ramsey went there on loan when he was getting back from injury. Matt Upson, Kevin Campbell, Viv Anderson. What a player he was. There you go. Right, let's talk about the game. Oh, have people done some more stuff? I'll come to that in a minute. How do you think it's going to go? Because Nottingham Forest are fighting for their lives, aren't they?
They are. And we have nothing to play for. We can't be caught, and we're not catching City. So the thing is, it's Arsenal, so we could show up and there's no pressure on us, and we could completely annihilate them 7-0, or we could lose 2-1, which Arsenal shows up.
That is very true. Do you want a few stunning facts that I'm going to tell you, and you're going to go, surely, sir, you're mistaken. We have the highest this season, our highest Premier League percentage win of ever. 69.44%. The next best is the Invincibles with 68.42. That's how good he's doing with 2 games to go, which we should, in all reality, win both those games.
You should.
If we get one more win, we equal the Invincibles record of 26 wins in a season. Arteta isn't getting as much credit as he needs for this. Another one, this season is our 3rd best points per game with 2.25. But if we beat Forest, then we beat the Invincible side who are on 2.37. And then if we beat Wolves, it'll go up even higher. And the final one, we have our highest goals per game total at the moment than ever in the Premier League with 2.31. The next highest is the season after the Invincibles with 2.29. What does that say to you about the job that Arteta's doing?
I would say that he's doing a fantastic job, and that long may it continue. And yes, you're absolutely right. He doesn't get enough credit. I still see people calling for his head, which is just asinine to me after this season. I mean, I have my doubts about the guy, and I've long maintained that he's the project, right? He's the thing that's going to take it, that they're expecting to build up and take us into the future. But yeah, on this season, he's got carte blanche for me for a few years anyway, unless he just completely collapses. There are things I still worry about, but for the most part, yeah, dude, Arteta's hit the ground running this season, and it looks like it's just going to continue. Well, it also, what are we going to do in the off season? Are we going to add the people we need to add in order to take the next step? Because the other thing that tells me is we did that good and we're in 2nd place. That means City's just a juggernaut. They're impossible. They're not the Invincibles. They're the Impossibles because nobody can beat them.
It is. We've played 36 league games this season. Jesus has played 24. He's missed 12 Premier League games. Just imagine what we'd have done if we'd have had him. Now he's not a goal a game man, but he's set stuff up. In those 24 games, he's got 10 goals, which is pretty decent, and that's including coming back from injury and a couple of games. I think that was a couple of games as a sub. But imagine if you'd have had him for the entire season. You got to be looking at. We might have been able to close that gap. We might not have lost some of the early games, but was he there for the Everton one? Where they beat us? Was it 1-0 they beat us or 2-0? I can never remember. I've even got a page open with it. And if Partey would have turned up to the party, Partey's only played 31 games this season, so he's missed 5. And then how many games is Saliba? Saliba has played 27 games, so he's missed 9 games. That's some of our best players, and he's still breaking the records of the Invincibles in a season where they're back in the Invincible days. It was us and Man United, and that was about it. Now it's decent teams: Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Man City. Occasionally that lot up the road. Sometimes Chelsea, but doesn't get it.
You can add Newcastle to that mix, right? So it's no longer the top 6; it's the top 7, right?
Yeah, and for him to have 2 games left to go to break all of the Invincible records, including the is he going to break the points total? The Invincible points total was how many points they got 90. The most we can get is 87, so he's not going to do that. But to be 3 points off a team that went the entire season unbeaten in only, what is his third whole season as a manager?
Yep.
And still, yeah, like you were saying, people still want to say he's not good enough, get rid of him. But are they attention seeking, or they've just been in the sun too long?
Yeah, I think that it's all the lead in the air and the paint. I think they've been eating paint chips.
Yeah. What's been your highlight of the season so far?
Well, first off, St. Totteringham's Day. I've wanted St. Totteringham's Day for 8 goddamn years. Finally, St. Totteringham's Day was probably the highlight, but just
there you go. That's for you.
The way that we played, man, the way at times where we were just irresistible. It was a magical thing to watch, and I loved every minute of it. Because it's been a long 20 years, 10 years.
It has. It's some of the most beautiful football we have ever played is this season, mixed with the early Wenger years, the first half of his reign. How do you think we're going to get on next season? First of all, is it even possible to catch Man City? Because they are as close to the perfect team, and next season they're going to be even stronger. So will we be able to do this again next season? Fight them all the way? Because there was also, I made a note, this stat nearly made me cry. I'm going to scroll up and go and find it. I heard it on the Totally Football podcast. Arsenal have been top of the league for 248 days this season, the longest in Premiership history and the longest in the entire history of top flight football in the UK, in England, going back to 1888.
That's
wow.
That's kind of depressing, actually. I can have been the last 200 days that we were.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna complain, man. It's been a great season, and it's been fun to watch, which is a hell of a lot better than the last couple of seasons.
Oh dear! I'm looking at some of the stuff. We've 83 goals we scored this season. A couple of seasons ago we scored 55. We won 3 seasons ago. We won 14 games. This season we can nearly double that with 27.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Okay. People in the chat are saying, Boy 10, good afternoon. Yeah, well, I know it's, I think you're 2 hours ahead of us. It must be about 3 a.m. there, isn't it? Boy 10. Jesus simply doesn't score enough, I'm afraid. That's why, would it be wrong to say get rid of him, move him on and get a recognised striker? But I don't think a recognised striker will play into Arteta's way that he wants to play football. Boy 10 says, City have done everything but prove to the footballing world that UEFA claims of FFP breaches against them are fallacious. That sounds slightly sexy. Do you think Man City are going to rule the FFP things by UEFA or the Premier League? Do you reckon it's ever going to catch them up?
I hope, but I doubt it. I mean, because really, why is the Premier League so big? It's not because we signed Gabriel Martinelli. It's because City brings in people like Holland, because Manchester United brings in people like Ronaldo, and that's part of the reason why the league is so big. And to expect them to take the golden goose out back and shoot it, I don't see it happening. It's just me, though. Maybe I'm a cynical asshole.
But you have seen how much. What other leagues do you watch? Do you take notice of apart from the Premier League?
I haven't been watching Serie A as much, but Inter Milan's one of my teams, and I also follow a couple of teams. And I don't really have a team in La Liga, but I watch games on occasion. But really, all I watch is Premier League. I don't watch MLS. It's sad to watch.
I've not watched a single Portland Timbers game this season. They're not very good. It is sometimes it's a bit of it's quite hard. But it's only 2 a.m. there. 2 up front is coming back, says Stan. Just watch. No, don't think Arteta even wants a proper out-and-out striker. Do you think he's going to carry on with Jesus doing that role? Because I've said it all season. I mean, since the Man City game, that you look at the heat map of Haaland in that game, and you look at the heat map of Jesus. Jesus was everywhere. Haaland was mainly up front, and that's what we kind of, because he does kind of. He's adapted Pep's tactics. He's adapted it, and then last season and there's a few seasons before that, because Aguero was always injured, Pep played without a recognised striker, as in Jesus and a couple of others and a young man they sold to Barcelona. Now he's got the most out-and-out striker the Premier League has ever seen, as we've seen by the number of goals scored. Do you think Arteta will look at that and go, that could be the key, and go for an actual recognised striker who's going to try and get you 20, 25, 30 goals a season?
I think he's not going to change his tactics based on what Pep has done this season, because Haaland, I don't think Pep would have changed his tactics if he didn't have Haaland. There's not another striker out there like him. You're not going to go out and buy somebody else who can score that many goals in a season. So I don't see him changing the tactics at all. He's not big on changing tactics anyway. It's one of my few complaints about him, is that he needs to be a little more flexible. But
yeah, we have seen his maturity when it comes to tactics, even his substitutions. He's making more of them. He's making them more often. He's making them earlier, and so you can see that he's trying to do that. But there's got to be a key to the lock of doing more next season. I mean, for Arteta to be breaking records of the Invincibles and still finish second in the league. I was looking at that thing of I've said this over and over, so you probably heard it, of the last 30 Premier League seasons, with the points total we got now, we would have won 6 of those titles already with 2 games to go. Does that just show that it's almost impossible to beat City, because they're just going to go on and score and more points, and then if you do get anywhere near them, they're just going to go out and buy everyone.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and that's why I hope that we go out and we add this summer, and we get the parts that we need in order to be able to compete with City. But it's not like they're going to stand still. It's not like they're not doing anything this summer, and it's not like they aren't going to go out and spend another 200 million, at least.
Yeah, it is annoying, because looking at the Premier League table, Southampton have gone down. Finally, they need to go down. They've been one of the worst teams in the Premier League for years, been hanging on, and those 2 draws against those cost us 4 points. And with those 4 points, we'd be level with Man City on points at the moment, by just beating home and away the team that are bottom of the league, that have only won 6 games all season, and they managed to take 4 points off us this season. Something simple like that. So that I honestly don't think Arteta can do much more than he's already doing, because Haaland, for his first season to be doing what he's doing, and for Arsenal to be chasing them all that way, all those days at top of the Premier League, I think they were top for 31 of the 36 Premier League weeks that have happened so far, or match days, or however they call it. It's just, I think it's an impossible task. I wouldn't be surprised if we fail to keep up to this next season. Do you think we will?
Yeah, I think we will. It's a young team, and if we keep the key pieces and we add a few more key pieces, I think it'll get us a little closer. And I think that, we'll be able to fight with them again next year. But it just depends on who they add. If we go out and get a Caicedo or a Rice or somebody like that in the midfield, to kind of shore up when Partey is either out injured or not feeling it. I don't know why his ups and downs go the way they do. I'm not going to speculate. But, if we go out and get those few pieces, a backup, right back, a backup left back, if we're going to get rid of Tierney, I hope we don't. If we add the pieces that we need to, I think we could challenge them again next year. I don't know that we'll be able to beat them. I don't think anybody over a season is going to be able to compete with them. But I think that we can at least give them a hard time, give them some sort of a challenge. True.
My boy 10 says Jesus and Martinelli should swap positions next season. Martinelli would be better than him up front, in my honest opinion. I have no doubt Arteta is seeing the same thing. Would that work?
I don't know. Jesus, he draws a lot of traffic when he stays in the forward position. He garners a lot of attention, particularly from center backs. So I don't know that Martinelli would kind of draw the defense to him like Jesus does. Because even if he's not scoring, he has that ability to pop up and score. I don't think Martinelli's there yet. I think he'll get there in the next couple of years, but that's just my opinion.
So how worried are you about Saliba leaving from all my hair's falling out and I'm sitting in the corner rocking to? Nah, never mind.
If we somehow don't secure Saliba, it'll be one of the biggest mistakes that this current regime has made. it's imperative, right? That's our rock. We've seen how our defense reacts without him in there. And maybe if we had cover for White at right back where he can be playing center back, then it would have been different. But we need some piece in there to shore that up. Because if we lose one starter there, we suddenly turn very porous. So yeah, I think it's pretty imperative that we sign him. If we don't sign him, yes, I will be in the corner in the fetal position, muttering to myself, "What did they do? Why did they do it?"
Generational talent, but he needs to stay. He's the most important thing. Ramsdale signed his new contract, which is lovely to see. Martinelli signed a new one last season. Saka is in the process of signing one, but the Ornstein said that Saliba's one. They're not any closer at the moment. If I was in charge of contracts, they'd sign that contract or leave in 1 hour. That's what we got. I've decided now. It's not going to take weeks. How much do you want? This is what you give you. All right, you're not having it? Right, we leave. And he would stay because I give him exactly what he wants. So I wouldn't tell him that in the first place, though, but they need someone in there to sort these contracts out in days, not in months. Stan makes a good point. Formations move in cycles. Pep brings them back and just renames them, and everyone calls him a genius. The WM formation, case in point. Now, he and others are going 2 up front. We go 4-4-2 off the ball.
We absolutely do.
Would you be sad to see Xhaka go?
Actually, yeah. I know that's crazy coming out of my mouth because the whole
you weren't
armband
the last
incident.
Time we spoke.
Yeah, the whole armband incident. I was not pro Xhaka, and it's not like I like the guy now, but I think his role in our team is important.
Yeah,
I think that's something you can go out and buy.
And it'd be nice. Someone put in our group that he's never played Champions League football for us. Now, I didn't look that up. I don't know. I'm gonna go and have a little looky poo. Where are you, Mr. Xhaka? There you go. Go and scroll down to his seasons with us. And Europe D. What is D? Yeah, he's played in the Champions League. Josh, you're an idiot. F is Europa League. Yeah, his first season with us. 7 games, 1 Champions League goal. D is definitely appearances in the UEFA Champions League. I think it was Nick. Nick's not here. Nick said, "Are you sure?" And Josh said, "Not really." So that was a waste of time. Partey, does Partey stay or does Partey go for you?
I mean, it depends on his wages, right? Is somebody going to pay for him, given his other issues that he has or doesn't have?
Nicely put. Thanks. We will be back next season now.
Kind of tiptoe around that one, right?
Yeah.
Not that anybody's paying attention, but
No.
I don't see how we do so. And the thing is, when he's on, because I was actually just watching the highlights from the last Forest game, and that goal that he scored is, I think it's up there, and at least in the competition for goal of the season, man. That thing started like 2 meters outside of the right post and curved in at the last second. It's an amazing shot. And when he's on, he has the ability to drive up the field and really move the ball and move the momentum forward. And he's really the driving force when he's on. But when he's not on, he just disappears. It's weird. I don't get what's going on in his head.
It is weird. He's only 29. We paid 45 million for him in 2020. And he's on, I think he's one of the highest earners, 250 grand a week. Now he is still, most teams would pay 30, 40 million for him after some of the performances he had this season. So maybe if we asked a little bit, if it's as usual, the football manager scenario, what would I do? I'd lower his offer, how much we're asking, to 20, 25 million. And then a team might go, well, we saved 10, 15 million on his value. Then we can afford to pay him more wages. But I don't want Partey at the club next season. We've seen towards the end of the season a complete collapse of his attitude, his ability. And if next season we're trying to do stuff, you can't carry someone like that who's going to be the best Partey has played for Arsenal has been this season. At times, those balls that he's doing across the field, the interceptions, getting those long, lanky legs in and winkling the ball out from in front of people, and then doing stuff like that. And then towards the end of the season, just letting people take the ball off, and he stands there and jogs back. And you think, what are you doing? how are you doing that? There is something not right. Atletico are doing things. Maybe he could go back there.
Go back to Spain. Yeah, I don't. It makes me sad that we're talking about getting rid of him because like I said, when he's on, he's unstoppable. But yeah, he's too inconsistent. I kind of agree with you. Even if he does stay, we need to bring somebody in who can take his place, and he needs to take a step back. Which at $250K a week, that's an expensive bench player. But at the same time, if he's not doing the job, we need somebody who can come in and consistently do it. Right. So.
Yeah, that is true, and it's annoying because there is a magnificent player in there, and the position that he plays in doesn't rely on pace. He relies on reading the game, as we all know, and he could do that job for Arsenal for another 5 years. He'd still only be 34, maybe even longer than that. But I think sometimes
he played until his 50s, right?
Did he go off to New York City or something like that?
Yeah, something like that, and still played well. Of course, it's
what a player. Played the entire game walking, like the legendary Ray Wilkins. I think he played Premier League football at 41. Never knowingly broke a sweat. Just read the game. I'll have like Ruud Gullit when he was his late days at Chelsea. Just magnificent. Glenn Hoddle at Swindon when he was playing there. Just these players. You lose. What's it the saying? You may have lost a yard in pace, but you gained a yard by your ability to read the game. Yeah. Someone had a good question. Crimson Pirate on Twitch. Will Balogun be the future of the US national team? Now, I don't know what you feel about the national team. I don't really support England because I don't like the manager and some of the players. But are you a USA team follower, fan?
I don't follow international football at all. It's a horrible system, and I don't want to give it any of my money. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a short answer to what could have been a really good question.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
What are your feelings on him going Team America?
He absolutely could be. And he'll by far be the best player on the team. Although we do have some good players, just not that level. Balogun's he's a talent, but we've seen lots of young kids come through and they've been hailed as the next big thing, and they end up being Fran Morita.
He's probably still kicking his heels in the Spanish Segunda Division.
Right.
So the chances of us getting Rice and Caicedo next season, what do you reckon about that? Best part of 200 million quid for the pair of them.
I have a hard time as an Arsenal fan even wrapping my brain around that much money on two players. But, we spent 50 million on Benny Blanco, so why not, right?
I mean, when the days come that you are spending £50 million on a centre-back, right-back he was 23 when we bought him. We're just looking at some of the prices we've paid. We played 30 for Odegaard, played 30 for Vieira, paid 35 for Xhaka, 45 for Jesus, 72 for Pepe.
I wanted Pepe to work so bad. That's just sadness. It still just bums me out every time I think about him because you would see those flashes of ability, and it's just like he could be a world beater, but he's just not.
I mean, his stats for us weren't actually that bad. His first season, 8 goals in 42 games. Next season, 16 goals in 47 games. He got 10 in the Premier League, 6 in the Europa League, and then the last season, 3 in 23. I mean, but in his second season, he gets 16 in 47. That's 1 in 3. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, he was a victim of his price tag, though.
It is a shame because there is a player in him, but he's still. How old is he? He's 27. Oh, actually, same birthday as Sean. He's 28 on the 29th of May. Same day as Andre Arshavin as well. They all share a birthday. Who else are we going to look at? There's a point here. Graham Denton said, the answer is yes to Balogun concerning the USA team. For once, we don't have a recognised starter striker. He fits the bill perfectly. Lovely. Boy 10 says, SMS and Xavi Simmons are the real midfielders we are going for. Don't it. $4.95 on a decent code. I think Crimson Pirate is drifting in and out of reality. That's the only answer for that. Anything else you want to talk about? Are you sad that Ashley Maitland-Niles convertible? No, not convertible. Conservative is leaving the club. Do you have an opinion on that?
I didn't know he was leaving. Did he sign for somebody?
No, his contract's up and we're not renewing
I know
it.
his contract's up. Yeah, that's true.
And the same as Reece Nelson, he's leaving.
I'm obviously devastated. Reece Nelson, I actually am a little bummed about because I think given a chance, he could be a very, very good player. I mean, going back to the Nottingham Forest game in October, was it? Where we stomped him 5-1 and he scored a brace. I mean, kid's got talent, but he needs a chance to play somewhere. He needs Bennett. And he's not a kid anymore, is he?
Pablo Mar. Nelson is 23. Yeah, he's not 24 till October, December. But then we've got another one of your Americans, Austin Trusty, player of the season for Birmingham. Centre back, scores goals, but he's 24. He's going to be 25 in August. He hasn't got a future with the club, has he?
He never had a chance at the club. They didn't bring him here to play for Arsenal. They brought him here to get him a visa to be able to play, and to it was a deal that they had with what's the team that we're affiliated with, Colorado Rapids.
Yeah,
it was a deal that they had with them that brought him over, and just to give him a chance to play in Europe, to showcase him, see if they could make some money off of him. I think that's personally what I think it was, but he was never going to play for Arsenal.
This is a bit of a weird. 48 games for Birmingham this season, 4 goals, 6'3" centre back, finalist from Pennsylvania.
He's a central defender, right? He scored 4 goals.
Yeah, he's won a couple of games. Decent player. His entire career, he's only scored 3 goals before this season, covering Rapids, the Union, and Bethlehem Steel. But he's got a cap for the USA this year, so
good.
That's worked out well for him.
Yeah.
That's nice. And then we've got a few disasters. Lokonga, what do we do with him?
I love Sambi, but sell him.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is his face. He's adorable. I just want to pinch his cheeks. We better bring Captain Chaos back. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Tavares?
Yeah, we need to bring him back. I fucking love that guy, dude. He's just, you never know what's going to happen when he's on the field. He could win us the game, or he could cost us 4 points.
It is a bit weird because I watched a few. Say that again?
I said I like a little chaos in my life.
Don't we all? I watched quite a bit of Marseille. I probably watched them about 10 times this season, only for Alexis Sanchez. But when you see Sanchez up front, Guendouzi in midfield, and you see Kolasinac playing at the left wing-back position rather than Nuno Tavares, you think, well, how is Kolasinac playing there? And Kolasinac scored a couple of goals. He even got man of the match one game. So if he can't regularly play for Marseille in that league, when they're a really good Marseille side, who are probably going to finish second or third in Ligue 1, then I don't think he's got a future.
We started off gangbusters. Didn't he score 2 or 3 goals at the beginning of the season?
For Marseille?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I don't know how many. I'm going to go and have a look. Nuno Tavares, there we go. He has scored 6 goals in 29 games. That's not bad, is it?
Not bad for a left back. How many has Zinchenko scored? 4?
Zinchenko this season has scored 1.
His first goal in the Prem, actually. I remember that.
Yeah. Zinchenko's entire career in Russia, Man City, and 2 loans in Holland, he scored 4 goals. He scored 1 for us this season. Not his job, though, is it?
No.
Yeah, so Tavares and Lokonga, they're going to be out. And Pepe, so hard to get rid of him. It's a shame.
Suarez. We're going to have to, we'll lose money on that for sure if we get rid of it.
That will go down as probably one of the biggest Premier League flops ever since Jean Sebastian Veron for Man United, and then again at Chelsea. Those 2 moves. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember Veron. I don't remember the one you said before.
He was an attacking central midfielder and had a good World Cup, went to Man United, and then after a season, I think they got rid of him, went to Chelsea for similar money, got rid of him again. Like Di Maria at Man United, that never really worked out. That cost an absolute fortune. Sometimes it doesn't work out for players, but Pablo Mari's leaving because if if the team that he's on loan at, is it Monza? I think it.
Yeah.
If they don't get relegated, then he goes there for $3.5 million, which is
Oh,
he's stuck
6.
on that. Is it?
That's what
That'd be nice.
Reddit, I think.
But there's that conspiracy that he is stuck on a certain number of games for Arsenal because the deal when we bought him was he's only played 14 Premier League games for Arsenal. And I think if he played another game, then we owed Flamengo a load more money. So that's why that's why he didn't play. Right, I think that's enough talking about all that. Let's have a little bit of a prediction. How do you think the game's going to go?
I'm going to go positive. I'm going to say 3-0. 3 yards.
Are you going to pick any goal scorers?
Gabriel. Mark. Yeah.
The centre back.
However you say his name.
Magahales.
Yeah. Is that how you say Magahales?
I don't know.
They're pretty easy to say if that's the name.
I have absolutely no idea. Graham Denton makes a good point. Ricarlson this season giving Pepe a run for that title of the worst signing ever. He is celebrated. True. Go on.
I don't know. I was just agreeing that Richarlison is definitely giving Pepe a run for his money. Has he even scored yet?
He has celebrated a goal 3 times this season, and 2 of them were offside. That's the stat that warms the cockles of every Arsenal fan's heart. What an absolute...
Makes me giggle.
Yeah, he is a shit. I am going to say we're going to beat them 6-3 because they can't defend to save their life, as we saw against Southampton. We're having troubles, and now the season's over. We might as well go out there and play with gay abandon and do whatever we want. And it's going to rain goals because Arteta, I know he's listening, has been listening to my show, my pod, my stats. Hey?
I said, hi, Mickey.
And he wants to break that record. This is one that I hadn't actually done yet. Sort Z to A. Most number of Premier League goals, season after the Invincibles, 87. Then the season before the Invincibles, 85. Then this season with 83. All he needs to do is score 4 goals in 2 games to equal our highest ever goals in a season for the Premier League. I mean, he's listening and he'll see that and go, oh, here we go, lads. I heard this on a podcast. Like I'm constantly talking about the Totally Football show with AC Jimbo. Woof. They're going to do it. And so we're going to go out there and we're going to absolutely smash them. There's going to be more goals there than you can shake the proverbial stick at. Right, that's it. I'm tired. It's 1:45 in the morning. I want to go to bed. I've got to upload this first. I might fall asleep at the wheel, and that won't be good, will it? If people like the cut of your jib, where can they find you on the wonderful world that is Twitter?
You can't find me on the Twitter because I'm never on there. As you know, whenever you try and message me, and I respond 3 weeks later, oh, sorry, I didn't see this.
Yes, I finally managed. So I've never thought of getting your number before. So now I message you via the wonders that is WhatsApp. And then we worked it out almost instantaneously, which was beautiful.
If you want to watch a fat guy in his garage playing with his wood, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is Mr. Waffles. So
just called Mr. Waffles.
Yeah, that's just me.
I'm going to go and have a look at that later because we were talking about a woodworking channel that I watched, and you went, "Yeah, I've seen some of that." How weird is that? That is lovely to see. Oh. Didn't just trump. Right then, people, that is it. We will be back after the game tomorrow. Deke is having the end of season Arsenal Premier League champions barbecue. That isn't going to happen, but the barbecue's happening, and he's got a few friends around. He's going to have a few shandies. He might be a bit tipsy. I've asked him not to get shit-faced because I don't like podcasting with drunk people. And he said he won't be. He's a responsible adult. He's going to take it easy, and we're going to be back here. So the game kicks off at 5:30. We'll be here at about 7:35, unless we have lots of injury time and extra time added on at the end. And then we will talk about the game where Arsenal have broken the Premier League record for the most number of goals scored in a game, beating Forest 10-0. Imagine that would be glorious. And Saka scores all 10. Mama. Right. Thank you very much, David. You have been absolutely delightful.
Thank you for having me, Danny. It was fun.
We will have to get you back on again soon. I say soon. There's only one more game at the end of the season. And this is usually Stan's gig But I asked you during the show and you said yes. So you surprised me. Right, that is it. And we will see you after the game tomorrow. Goodbye.
Arrivederci.
You stay there until the credit things have ended.
Yes, sir.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid.
Get down, dog.
Splendid business.
You nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I've just eaten a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at it. So when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in doubt.